Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. So I'm just going to really give you a quick overview of the body-worn cameras, then I'll really open it up for you for questions. So over the past 5 years, St. Petersburg Police Department has looked at several body-worn cameras. We're now down to looking at maybe 2 more. Then after that, I'll present our findings to the mayor and also to City Council. The body-worn camera that we're going to be wearing here within the next couple of months is called body-worn. Basically what that is the officer that have been selected to try the cameras, including myself, we will wear them for 45 days. We'll see how they operate in the field, and then we will, again, I will meet with the mayor. This product has been tested in training like other products. So now, again, it's ready for field testing. So how does this body camera work? So we looked at 3 ways that the body camera will come on. The first way, and also we talk to people in the community. So when the officer pulls his or her weapon, the camera will be activated. So the officer doesn't have to worry about, did I turn it on, did I turn it off? So when he or she pulls the weapon, it clears the holster, it will come on. We haven't decided on the time limit, but it can record up to 2 minutes prior to the officer pulling his weapon. Also, when the officer pulls his or her taser, it will be the same thing. The camera would go back 2 minutes, or whatever we decide on that will be. The third way the camera can come on, the officer can actually push a button. You can see later on here, it looks like a watch. He or she can press that button, and then it will also record. And the third and final way is, which we think is the best way, is an officer safety feature. If the officer goes into a certain position, after he or she does not answer the radio in about 30 seconds, then that information will be passed on to the other officers on the road saying, officer is down, he's not answering his or her radio, and the GPS in the camera will get us within 10 to 15 feet of where that officer is. So we've seen it before. The company has showed us that. It saved an officer's life up north where he was chasing someone. He got into a cardiac arrest, and they were able to find him. Let me stress to you on this. This is just a test. We've actually have to get the cost to the city. We don't know what that cost is. Last time we checked was about $500,000. We still have to look at the storage, how we're going to make sure we available for public records requests. So there's a lot of things that we have to make sure that we put in place. I can tell you last year our report use of force, and that means anytime an officer used some type of force to put someone in custody, we had over 863 use of force forms. When I mean forms, that means the officers had to fill that out. Of those 863 forms that they filled out, we had 2 complaints. One was generated by the department, and another one was generated when the officer used deadly force when we killed a man on the bridge. Other than that, that's the only complaints we had last year of those times we used force. And again, those are the officers are reporting that themselves. So with that, I'll open it up for questions.
Chief, do you want to show them like where the camera goes and stuff? Kind of, I think they would appreciate that.
So this body-worn camera is going to be tailor-made to the officers. So basically, this will be the carrier part. So it would go into the officer's uniform in this direction. Just a cell phone camera will go into the holder. I can do this right. And then this would be the instrument that we'll use. The officer also has the wristband, so to speak, that he or she could do. They press it 1 time to activate the camera, and they have to press it I think 2 to 3 times to stop the camera. So they know when they're pressing that button, I'm getting ready to stop this camera. And again, we don't know the cost of that yet, because that could be a huge cost. We're looking at grant funding also, because there are some grants that are available out there, and then also going to the City Council and asking for funding.
That $500,000 that you threw out there, was that for how many body cameras?
At the time, I think it was like 300, but again, we're still not talking storage, so we're still trying to work through that.
And I read in that article you were thinking more about 400 for this pilot?
Yeah, we have to look at, if we're going to do this, everybody in uniform, including myself, would then be wearing this body-worn camera. So if you saw someone in uniform, they would be wearing this camera.
And how many people is that?
Again, somewhere around 400. We have 575 officers. It wouldn't be for the detective because the detective, of course, are in plain clothes. But if they were in uniform, then they would have to wear this body camera.
So, Chief, you said it's been about 5 years since you've been looking at this. What changed your mind now recently about it?
I was always for body cameras. The only thing that changed my mind is we finally got what we're looking for, because the biggest thing was storage. We meaning the department, we did not want to have something where it's on for 8 hours a day. Our lives are not that important. I don't think you want to hear me talk to someone for 8 hours a day, or those officers. So again, that would be a lot of storage, and that would be a lot of cost. So then what we looked at is, what is the crucial moment? And when we talked to everybody, that crucial moment was when that officer pulled his or her weapon. You want to know what happened. You want to know why the officer pulled that weapon. So that's what we want to capture. So when they pull their gun or they pull that taser, the main question is, why did they do it? So we'll capture that moment. But that conversation that you and I are having each and every day, I don't think the citizens want to hear me asking you how your day is going and things like that. The other thing we looked at is also, we pride ourselves on community policing, so we want to make sure that when we're out there talking to citizens, that we can have that conversation without someone worried about, someone says, hey, I saw the officer talking to you, so I'm going to go to the station and I'm going to ask for a copy of that video. By law, I have to give it to you. So then we're going to see the point where people are going to say, you know what, I used to give you information, but I'm worried about someone telling you who I am. So again, we only want to capture that crucial moment.
So that was my next question. This video, it won't be posted on our website somewhere. It'll be available if people come and request it?
Well, the only time that this would be activated is during a case. So we have to follow the same procedure that you normally would. If it's an open case, that's when you could have it.
How does it, so I guess, did you get new holsters? How does it know that a weapon?
So we'll move again a little bit. So what would happen, it'll be some type of wireless system that will be on the edge of the holster. So when the gun breaks that connection, so to speak, then it will come on.
Okay.
But the camera's always recording, always rolling, but when the officer pulls his or her weapon, then it goes into a record mode, and it'll go back, let's say, up to 2 minutes. So if I pull my weapon, it's going to go back and say, okay, what were you doing 2 minutes prior to you pulling that weapon? And that is captured.
You know, a lot of other agencies in the Bay Area are already doing this. Did you feel any pressure to do this pilot program?
No, not at all. Again, we have been looking at this for 5 years. I'm just interested in what the other agencies are doing. We were looking at what's going to be the best thing for our agency, and that's what we came up. We wanted to make sure that if we're going to do this, we're going to do it efficiently, and we're going to do it at a reasonable cost.
Chief, is the 45-day trial already underway, or is that starting soon? When do you expect to have a decision? A couple months, or what can we say?
I would say probably by the end of the year, because we're waiting sometime, hopefully early April, that we'll have the rest of the hardware to go with this. So we'll run that, then we'll look at the other companies that we looked at and finally say, this is the final product. Then we'll sit down and talk to the unions and everybody else, come to the table and say, this is what we're going to do and this is how we're going to move forward.
By the end of this year, you'll have a recommendation for the mayor?
Yes, we want to be done with this by the end of the year, giving the mayor the recommendation on how the camera works. And the most big important thing is how much this is going to cost.
Has Mayor Creston given you any idea how he's leaning towards looking at this at all? Or?
I got to give the mayor credit 100%. He's saying, Chief, you come to me when you figure out what you need, and then I'll stand behind you on that. And when I say cost, I should also say that. It's the initial cost, and then what's the reoccurring cost? Because just like in your profession, what is it going to cost each and every year? So if it's going to cost X amount of dollars this year, the next year, what is that going to cost? Because that cost is going to keep going out for forever.
And I know you don't have the numbers yet, but can we ballpark say it's going to be about $1 million or more than $1 million? Do you have any?
I couldn't even tell you. I want to say 3 years ago when we first looked at it, it was over $1 million. And that was 3 years ago, so I guarantee you we're probably somewhere over $1 million.
So is that actually a cell phone, or is that just a camera? Because I know that other body cameras I've seen are much smaller. Is that? That
is a cell phone technology. There are several types of technologies out there. There's ones where the cameras on the eyeglasses, on the shoulders, and on the chest. So there's different types. our staff looked at that, and this is probably where we're going to go again. We're going to look at the other one that's out there. But we, like I said, we want to take that responsibility, so to speak, away from the officer. We don't want them to remember, oh, I got to turn it on, I got to turn it off. When you pull your weapon or you pull your taser, it's on. You don't have to worry about it anymore.
I read that in 2015 you talked about doing a pilot program, but then it never actually came to fruition, and then it turned into like dash cam videos.
No, that's not true. What happened was we actually started to test one. We did a press conference like this, and then we started to walk out of the door, and it didn't work. And then we walked back in the station, and we said, here you go.
And how is this going to impact? How is this going to help the folks living in St. Petersburg?
Well, first of all, I want to make sure everybody says the body camera is going to build trust. This department and a lot of agencies have already built trust with their community. This is not about trust. I can tell you that right now. It's all about being transparent, that when an officer pulls his or her weapon, then you can see what happened. If you're expecting for once every officer wears one of those cameras that the citizens in St. Peter are going to start to trust us right away, that's not going to change. That's by us talking to people each and every day, building that trust. Because some people are still going to say the same thing. Did you doctor the film? What happened on the film? So if we don't build that trust, talking to people, again, this is not going to add on to it. You heard the numbers I told you a few minutes ago. 863 times we used force, and we had 2 complaints. I don't think we get any better than that. Can we get better than that? Yes, but we're never going to get 0. But at the same time, I think we are getting our message out the right way, and people know they can come and complain to us when our officers do something wrong. Nothing else? Thank you.